Cuban heavyweight made his return to the ring. As Cuban heavyweight Luis Ortiz this weekend. I'd seen on Twitter and on Boxing Scene that he was due to make a comeback. But shout out to Wingy, who did a video highlighting his post-fight, and that actually reminded me to check it out. So, watch the fight on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Luis Ortiz. If you Google boxing gossip Luis Ortiz, you'll see that I was making videos on him some time ago now, and was very, very disappointed when he received a suspension due to taking performance-enhancing drugs. It was good to see him back. He's still undefeated, and you know, previously he had beat Latif Coyote for what I believe was a WBA interim heavyweight belt, which would have put him in line to fight Ruslan Chagayev for the regular belt. And I would have confidently predicted him to dispatch of Ruslan Chagayev, the form he looked in at that point. Obviously, in hindsight, it's unclear how much of that performance can be put down to Luis Ortiz, how much of it can be put down to performance-enhancing drugs, which is always the worry in instances like this. I've discussed something similar with Mariusz Wach in light of the news that he may well be fighting Anthony Joshua next. Anyway, Luis Ortiz returned against Byron Polley. I hadn't heard of him either. He looked terrible. I mean, Polley looked terrible. Yeah, he must have been 20 stone of pure lard. And I think the commentator said, Luis Ortiz doing a good job of aiming to the body. I suppose you can't really miss given how large the body is. And that was the first summary. But Luis Ortiz, whilst he fought against an opponent with literally no capability or capacity to fight Ortiz, Ortiz looked good. You know, he's an older guy now, Ortiz. I think he's 36, 37. He's had some time out of the ring. He needs to be moved very swiftly. You know, if he's going to make a success in this sport, he needs to be in the big fights in the next year, next 18 months. He can't hang around for 2-3 years fighting nobody. So he's going to be moved swiftly. But I thought in this fight he looked good. He looked like he was hitting hard. He looked like he was hitting hard to the body and to the head. He was picking his shots very nicely. I know Polley wasn't the best opponent, but he was very accurate. And it was very, very good how he was sort of aiming to the body and being so tactical and finding the angles to exploit the gaps in Polley's game. So, clearly a performance at a certain level. BoxRec have him ranked something like mid-40s. I've got him slightly higher than that based on the performances against Latif Coyote, etc., etc. But a really interesting fighter. Seems to have a lot of talent. And perhaps someone, we've got all these talented Cuban heavyweights, Odlanier Solis, Mike Perez. They don't appear to take training too seriously. Perhaps Luis Ortiz is the guy who can step up his game a bit and, live the sport, breathe the sport and take it more seriously. I'm interested to see. But I was pleased to see him return. He looked good, and I'm very excited to see this guy in some big fights. And, if he keeps up this level of form, I expect that he could go somewhere in the heavyweight division. Let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.